Hey, I'm Elizabeth and welcome back to my channel. Grab your favorite drink because we're about to talk about the internet drama my husband refuses to listen to because somebody has to. If you're into influencer chaos, internet culture, and over-analyzing everything happening online, you're in the right place. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and let's get into it, because today we're going to talk about the wedding dress from hell that turned into a 4-part series, an apology from the wedding dressmaker, and then a secondary apology from the original creator. I don't know if she apologized, but she did post a follow-up video on the same day that the wedding dress creator did. I haven't fully watched everything, so we're going to dive into it together. We're going to start with the 4-part series, go into the apology, and then just talk about it. So let's get into it. We're going to watch all 4 parts. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I hope you have your drink, so let's do it. And yeah, let's see what this is all about and decide if this is actually a wedding dress from hell. Whose fault is it? Is it anybody's fault? It's just a miscommunication. Let's get into it and understand.
Now that the experience is pretty much behind me, I want to talk about my wedding dress from hell. I'm going to try to get through this without getting too angry and freaking out. But basically I got a custom made wedding dress, I suppose. Last year in September, October 2025, I started interviewing designers to go custom for my wedding dress because I wasn't really finding what I was looking for, and I knew I wanted something super simple. And I wanted the experience of going custom. I did the math of how much it would cost for me to buy a new dress and also pay for alterations. And I basically combined that. And I was like, well, if I pad my budget a little bit, I could go custom, and then there are no alterations.
Honestly, I actually totally agree with her on this point. There is a point where if you have so much budget for your, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. If you have so much budget for your dress plus alterations, there is a point of a threshold that you're willing to spend that you might as well go custom. I got married back in 2024 and we bought a dress off the rack and then just got it altered to me. And honestly, it didn't cost too much. I also didn't pay for it. My grandmother did, and then my mom paid for the alterations. So thank you for them. But if you're paying for it yourself and you're realizing that your budget is enough to you might as well customize it, you might as well. I totally agree with her on that.
It's custom. So in my mind, I was like, this is a worthy investment, even though it's very expensive. I meet with maybe 4 designers. I ended up going with this designer based here in New York who we are going to call Kim. Okay. And she really understood my vision. She really got me right away. The first thing that we did was...
Okay, I do appreciate her not calling out the designer, even though, like I said, ultimately the designer did apologize, and we know who it is, but she tried to keep them hidden, but not really. Kim and Kate are similar names.
A Zoom call, which cost me $120, where I showed her my inspo and she drew me a sketch. So this was the inspo that I provided her. This is a picture of me, and the reason I included this picture was because of the way it fit. I was like, this is the shape of the bodice that I'm after, a little drop waist, super fitted, and then these ones I included as general inspo of kind of a romantic shape. This is the sketch that she made me. In theory, it has everything that I asked for. I remember thinking that there could be more volume in the skirt at the top, but there was a little bit of pushback from her and my mom. They were both kind of let's start here. I think neither of them, maybe they didn't like my vision, I don't know, but this was the sketch. The next step was to go in for my prototype fitting. This was in November 2025, and the prototype is essentially a rough draft of the dress, and this is what mine looked like. I was happy with this. It fits me like a glove. I definitely had some edits. As you can see, there's black Sharpie drawn on the bodice. That's because the princess seams, which are the seams that go straight down the front right here, were really wide and straight, and I wanted them to be closer together and curved to give me a bit more of a shape. Also, this is not a drop waist, and I wanted it to be dropped a bit. But other than that, this fit me so well. This was the back.
And I'll give it to her. She went in for her fitting. She's giving alterations. She's paying for that style of dress. She's paying for it to being fully custom. So I don't blame her for being this is how I want it to fit. This is how I want it to look. I actually want, the seams to look like this. So I don't blame her for doing all this.
can see there's like a blue line where was giving me like crazy back fat. And I was like, let's lower that a little bit to get rid of that. And we were playing with like some lace, some bows. So that was in November. I don't go back until March, and you're not ready to see this. Okay, this is the first time I see my dress in the fabric, meaning that was a prototype.
I feel like going from November to March is a long time to not see the dress that you're like fully paying for since it's custom. I don't know if that's just me. I would love if somebody's ever gotten a custom dress to like tell me the actual timeline that usually takes, because like I said, I got mine off the rack and then I went in for alterations. They had my dress for a month, if that, not even that, I don't think. And then I got it back and I got married.
This is it made in the fabric. This is what I see when I walk in.
I don't like that. I also had sleeves on my wedding dress, and it can look beautiful if done correct, and it just doesn't give custom. It gives, I am having a shotgun wedding, I found this dress at Goodwill, it fits me, I'll wear it.
Literally diabolical. The waist is like, it doesn't fit me at all. Like, this doesn't fit me at all. I'm floating in this dress. It's asymmetrical. One of the boobs is higher than the other. The princess seams have not been adjusted. They're wide. They're a weird shape. There's a weird, like, bunching happening right down the center of the dress. I'm clipped in. I was not clipped into the prototype. I'm clipped in the front. I'm also clipped in the back. I'll show you. The skirt is, like, deflated, and, like, this seam across the waist looks so bunchy and weird. This is the back of the dress. I'm completely clipped into it. Like, I was not clipped into the prototype, so I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy, especially since she hasn't stated that she lost weight or anything like that, that she would be clipped in all of a sudden.
But I left this appointment freaking out. After that appointment, I sent my first kind of like firm email where it's just kind of like, I'm a little concerned. I'm not seeing a ton of progress. The notes that I gave in November aren't in the dress. Again, princess seams are not adjusted. It has not been a dropped waist. And like, where did the volume go in the skirt? I was like, what's happening here? And they respond, Kim responds, really nice. Don't worry. It takes a little bit of imagination. We're not there yet. Da, da, da. And then I say, can we move my next fitting up? Because there's only supposed to be 3 fittings between the sketch and picking up the dress, and this is fitting number 2. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna need more than 3 because there's a lot left to do. So we move my fitting up for March to, that one's at March, the next one's at May, which is this one. So I go in May and my dress looks like this, dress number 3.
Okay, I know we're only like halfway through this video, if that.
This is
literally somebody says over here, I just have to read these really quick. Literally, how did each version get worse? Agreed. She was ordering dresses on Shein and altering them. Did you run them through Google Pics? Like, seriously. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're getting there. This is kind of crazy. I can't believe this is dress number 2 that she's trying on. Well, technically 3, I guess, but the fact that this is supposed to be getting closer to the finale of her dress, and this is the next rendition of it. This is awful.
The third dress, they don't even resemble each other. This is completely different. Still does not fit me. It does not fit me at all. And in this appointment, when I was there, I said, you can take this in a little bit. Like, the waist could be tighter. Like, look how much bunching there is. Like, it's not fitted against my body. And they literally told me no. They were like, no. Like, no, we can't really bring it in anymore. And I'm like, but you can.
She's paying you for a custom dress. I feel like you can bring it in more.
Because it doesn't fit. Whatever. They also added cups to the boobs that are giving me like fish eyes. The waist, like the shape of that seam, we've completely lost it, and it's just kind of like sagging there. Let me zoom in. Okay, so maybe you can kind of see what I mean, but like this seam right here, it has like this weird bunching, and it's still not a drop waist. It's just like this weird seam, like barely holding it together. The cups are crazy. You can completely see them through the dress, and still look at how wide and straight the princess seams are. Like, they have not been adjusted. The waist has not been dropped. The princess seams have not been adjusted. So at this point, I'm like, I'm freaking out. This is May. My wedding is in August, okay? I'm like, the dress is not gonna get done by these people, because the notes that I gave them in November that I've now reiterated and I've like raised the flags, they're like still not taking place. And again, this has been an expensive experience. Like, this is not like a cheap dress. Like, I've invested thousands of dollars into this dress. At this point, I've made 3 of my 4 payments. Okay,
I cannot accept that. Like, this is so crazy, because like, I could not imagine my one wedding day that I am wanting to have, and with the man that I am so excited to marry, with a dress that makes me feel the most beautiful I've ever felt in my life, because that is how I felt in my wedding dress on my wedding day, with my makeup and my hair done. I knew I was gonna, like, I have never felt so beautiful in my entire life. And to just feel so defeated by something that I was paying money into is crazy. Like, we're only halfway through this video. Like, how much worse is this possibly gonna get?
only 4 payments. I've made 3 of them. They have all my money, okay? I'm so concerned and unhappy about the dress that I actually reach out to Kim and I say, I would like to move up. I would like to add another fitting, and I'm still not seeing these things, and I need you to execute these things, or I need you to tell me that you can't, so that I can go elsewhere. Kim responds, she's like, don't worry, it's all gonna be fine. Let's add another fitting and we can have an honest conversation about the progress, like if you're not happy. I go, thank you. Then I start.
Like, that feels like a good, like, okay, honestly, if I was this person that this was my company, I would not let them leave until she is satisfied with the next steps and we've agreed on what it's going to look like the next time she walks through the door in a month. That is what I would be doing as an owner, and also be refunding, because like, this is obviously a disaster and I'd be trying to figure out why. Like, that would be personally what I'd be doing.
I start researching a little bit, and it dawns on me that if I need to buy another dress, I have to do it like that day because I only have so many weeks until my wedding, and shipping, all of these things. Like, I was kind of like, I have to make a game time decision. So I call my inner circle, and everyone is in agreement that this dress will not get where I want it to get in the next like 6 weeks until my wedding. So, or however many weeks. So I email Kim and I say, thank you so much for all of your hard work. I've really appreciated you and your team being so dedicated to my dress, but I think I need to end our relationship here because I'm not seeing the progress I need to see, and this close to my wedding, like, I can't, like, I only have so many options, but like, thank you for all your hard work from here. Can we please arrange a partial refund? I wasn't sure what she would say to that, you know what I mean?
Honestly, the fact that she's not asking for a full refund, which is what I'd be asking for, truly, good for her, because I'd be asking for a full refund. And I mean, it could be in the contract stating that like she is not going to give back a full refund, which I get. You have to pay your employees, you need to keep the lights on, all of the fabric has gone into it, but this is such a disaster. I feel like a full refund is the only answer.
And part of me was kind of like, she's gonna say no. Like, she's like, of course she's gonna like keep the money and run. We have no contract. But the other part of me was kind of like, well, if she cared.
She has no contract. I don't think I'd have gone with that designer purely for the fact that there is no contract. Like, I would need a contract with literally everything in it, stating when it's going to be done, how it's going to be done, when the appointments are going to be, what the progress is going to look at each appointment, and making sure that everyone is sticking to that. That is so crazy that she didn't sign a single contract.
About like her reputation, and she knows that I'm leaving like unhappy. Like, I'm asking for a partial refund, not a full refund. And I'm also not asking for a finished dress because the dress is unfinished, and I'm telling her that they can stop working on it. So I thought that a partial refund would be fair. She responds to me and she just says no. She's like, no, the dress, you need to come in for another fitting and your payment's due. That's like literally what she says. So I get some advice from different people, and I basically was like, okay, if you are like refusing to end this partnership with me, which by the way, why not? Like, why do you want to work with me if I don't want to work with you? Like, It doesn't make any sense. No integrity, no artistic integrity, no like business integrity of like her reputation. No, she's not interested in making me happy, nothing. So I was kind of like, okay, well, like here's all of the things that I need to see in my fitting. And if these things are not present, our agreement is null, but I'll come in. So I went in. Okay, these photos are from June. Reminder, wedding is the 1st of August. This is June. Dress number 4. Like, what is this?
They all look so different.
This dress looks completely different from the other dresses, okay? I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, I am still completely pinned into this dress. Do you see all of those pins? Yeah, it doesn't fit me. The nipples are in 2 different places. The boobs are like this. She did fix the princess seams, but they're wide on the boob, and then they go in, which is so weird. The top of the dress is so high up, it's like cutting into my arms, which the last one was not doing. And the waist, although it fits me better, like at least it's more fitted, look at all the wrinkling and bunching. Again, still pinned in, all the wrinkling and bunching. This has not been dropped. This has been in the same place the whole entire time. This is what the back of it looks like. Again, we are less, like we are like a month and some change out from.
I'm like in so much shock by this is like what she's going through to find this dress. And it's not even like she's going through this and it's looking like the dream dress that she has. It's going through this and it's continually looking worse and worse and worse. We'll just keep watching.
My wedding, and I'm covered in pen, and I'm clipped into this dress, including the pins in the front. I'm completely clipped into this dress. Weeks away. I also just want to say that everyone I know who works in fashion, I've shown them this dress, and they are all mortified. Like when I tell you I got 2nd, 3rd, 4th opinion. So yeah, it's not gonna happen. I like can tell it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because she does like demand that I pay at the end of this appointment. Now that
oh my gosh, I have so much to say. We're gonna go through some of these comments and then go on to part 2 because I am flabbergasted by the 4th dress that she showed us. How was the prototype the best one? I mean, truly. Me sitting down to make a Netflix documentary about how I was victimized by Kim, and the same exact thing happened to me. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. What do people say to that? Tell me more. Yes, please. Please make a story time. I literally cannot believe people pay thousands for those Shein ass looking dresses. Okay, hold on. Did she make a... Okay. She did make a story time. We're gonna watch this after we watch this 4-part series. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can't wait. I had no idea the rabbit hole I was about to go down. Someone said, OMG, their fabric reminds me of a Halloween costume. Yeah. As a former fashion designer, I have no idea how it kept getting worse. I feel like that is the most important comment because not that they're a fashion designer, but for the fact that it kept getting worse. It's not like it was getting better over time. It was just getting worse and worse and worse, and nothing can be done about it. It was just looking terrible and looking bad, and then even worse. I don't understand the even worse part. Okay, this was part 1. Let's go to part 2.
Okay, wedding dress from hell, part 2. A reminder of where we left off. We are less than 2 months away from my wedding, and this is what my very expensive custom gown looks like. Yeah.
And wait a minute, this is happening all right now. I don't know why this just dawned on me, but that means her wedding is in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. If it's August 1st, because it is July 19th. Oh my gosh. Okay. Bless her heart. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her.
So at the end of this appointment, she pulls me into this room, and Kim pulls me into this room that I've never been in before. And I said to her, like, oh, is this new? Because I'd never seen it before. And she was like, no. It's like, okay. She sits down behind this desk with this comically big, like, Mac screen. It's massive. She's like peeking over it like this to make eye contact with me. And she goes, it's just a matter of your payment. Keep in mind, Okay, keep in mind, this dress was only supposed to be covered in 4 payments. I've made 3 of them. And I've had to have extra fittings because this dress is terrible. Like, I'm just going to say it. This dress looks like it's worth $900 on ASOS. Like, this is a cheap
I wouldn't even pay $900 for that dress. What?
ass Shein looking dress that I have sunk thousands of dollars into. Okay. So, and I know that she was trying to intimidate me, but you can't intimidate.
Also, it's very unprofessional to have a desk set up where the center of your desk is the screen when you know somebody is going to be sitting on the other side of that desk. It is very easy to put a monitor on the corner of your desk that is still positioned in a way that people can't see it because of private information, or put a blackout screen or some sort of binder that on the side of it so it's not showing the information, so you can look at the screen but then turn and look at the person you're talking to, because it is so rude to just be like, oh, hello, yeah, can I talk to you really quick? Yeah, you owe me money. That is so beyond rude.
Me that easily. And so I was just like, well, I'll pay when I approve of the dress. And she was like, okay, so you'll come back.
Honestly, yes, I agree with her. I would not pay either unless I approved of the dress that I was about to be picking up. That's crazy. I get when you go pick up the dress, you make your final payment because the dress is finalized, nothing else is done. That's basically like when you buy, or you're paying a contractor to build a house. That final payment isn't due until everything is done. Like, you do not pay that final payment until everything is done. If you have any issues with that house, you do not make that final payment until every part of those issues are fully done, because once you've made that final payment, that contract is over. But again, they didn't sign a contract.
Next week, and you'll pay then. And I said, I'll pay when I approve of the dress. Like, I'll pay at final pickup approval. She goes, okay, thank you for coming, and ushers me out. That really pissed me off because, again, she just has a complete lack of integrity. And you guys, this girl works with all of the New York City influencer girlies. You've seen her on Instagram. I was shocked that she really did not care about.
That's also so upsetting because not only are you wasting Alexander's time, you're also wasting her money, and for the most important day of her life up to this point, because marrying my husband up to this point in my life has been one of the most important days of my life. Now we're planning on having kids and things like that, and I'm sure those will top it. Maybe, yes, in a way, but also I got to marry my best friend. That will always be considered one of the most important days of my life. And to just mess that up for somebody, it's just so rude.
Just treating me really poorly. And was she gonna let me walk down the aisle in that dress and be like, yeah, Kim made this, and she was gonna be happy about that? We have different ideas of what a good dress is, if she was gonna be proud of that dress and proud of that construction. Anyway, so she follows up with me after that appointment, and she's like, hey, so your dress is ready for pickup.
What do you mean your dress is ready for pickup? She hasn't had a final fitting. It has yet to fit her and look the way it's supposed to look. I am not a fashion anything. I do not claim fashion. And are you telling me that she claimed final fitting or final pickup without a final fitting? That's crazy.
4 days later, she's like, your dress is ready for pickup and you have a payment due. And I go, okay, well, I have some questions. I was like, why is it that my dress is suddenly ready for pickup when things I've been asking for since November, they hadn't taken place in March, they hadn't taken place in May, they hadn't taken place in June, and now you're telling me that between the beginning of June and the end of June, suddenly my dress is ready for pickup. What changed in that time? She sends me this ChatGPT ass response, just GPT, whatever.
I kind of wish she was showing us these emails. I would love to fully read the response.
Basically telling me well, pretty much all of the construction is done. And I'm like, but it isn't done, because I've had the same notes since the end of last year. Like, what do you mean? It's not done. So I repeat myself. I go, sorry, let me clarify. Like, I'm interested in understanding what's changed, because I trusted you for all of these months, and I even ended our relationship, and you pushed back the whole time. And now all of a sudden you're telling me that the dress is ready for pickup. What changed? She copy and pastes her last email and sends it to me again.
As per my last email, as someone who sends that, that is rude for somebody who is trying, or who is paying you for a service. Like, that is so rude. Okay.
She just sends me the same thing. So at this point, I'm like, I can't wear this dress. Like, not only is it like a really ugly dress that was really poorly made and just looks like a
It is an ugly dress. I totally agree with her. It's awful.
cheap like school project. I also, like, this girl has like the worst energy. She's got the worst energy, and I'm like, well, I don't want that on my wedding day. I don't want your like tainted vibes on my wedding day. Like, I don't need that. So I do have a different dress, and that dress is a whole other story, and it's amazing, and I'm very excited to wear it. And so I sent her an email literally like a week ago, because she kept asking me to come in and not answering my questions. So I sent her an email like a week ago being like, hey Kim, I had to go in another direction, like, wish you the best. So that was my second time breaking up with her, and I know I will never hear from her again. I will not hear from her again. She's going to keep my money. She's not going to apologize. She's not going to say, like, I'm sorry that you didn't have the experience that we take pride in brides having with us. Like, she has no integrity. And I mean, I'm not gonna like say her name on here. Her name, I like blurred the background in all of those photos. Like, I'm not trying to blow her up, but best believe I am telling everyone I know in the industry, like all of my friends who work in fashion, all of my friends who work in fashion PR, all of my friends who work in media, the only thing you can do in New York City is like word of mouth. And like, I am not being shy about this experience, because I literally feel like she scammed me. I feel like she never made my account a priority, and in addition to being incredibly rude to me, she never put the proper amount of time and effort into a garment that I paid for. And so I know she's gonna keep my money. She must really need it, okay? And I know I'll never hear from her again. And it's like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And okay.
Herself, and she did this in a way like she was telling a story and she was letting everybody know her experience, and I'm glad she found a dress. I hope it's beautiful. I hope she loves it. I hope everything went smoothly with it, truly. And maybe she'll talk about it, because like I said, this is a 4-part series and we've only done 2 parts, which is crazy, and I am so pumped for her. But also, she was scammed out of that money, which I agree with that phrasing of what she is saying, but it's just awful. Okay, let's look at some of the comments and see what they have to say, and they're pretty good. So this person says, as an ex-employee, I'm not surprised. Yeah, small claims court, please don't let her get away with this. I feel like that's harder said than done. There was no contract. The copy and paste email would have sent me into another dimension. Yeah, same. It seems like she only cares about her celeb clients and thinks that no one else's experiences matters. Yeah, that is definitely something that I would agree with, and it's really hard to see that, because that's so sad. And honestly, the whole experience for her is sad to me, because I feel like it's something she should be looking forward to. She should have been looking forward to this experience of going through this custom wedding dress making, and knowing that she's going to have a unique dress to her, for her, because I'm sure if somebody else wore my wedding dress on their day. I did make some alterations to the dress, so like the sleeves I had was not the original sleeves to the dress, and so there are slight alterations to my dress which are unique to only me, and I was able to get that done, and I am so excited that, you know, for the most part, my wedding dress will be unique to me, and I love that. And I'm glad I did that, but to go fully custom but not get a fully custom experience is awful. Okay, that was part 2. Let's go to part 3.
I forgot a detail, and this is reminding me. In the last appointment where she pulled me into the room and was like, you need to pay, that day, that night, she sent me a DocuSign with all of the notes on it from that day's fitting. Granted.
Finally sent you a DocuSign? That's crazy.
Okay, granted. After my first fitting in fabric, which was like pretty insane, I said, moving forward, I want to receive all of the notes after each fitting so I can make sure that we're like tracking with.
Yeah, I don't blame her for that. And she should have been receiving a follow-up email post every single fitting just to know that everybody's on the same page.
Like the same goals in mind. She never did that. It was always me following up, being like, this is everything that, like, that I'm recapping our fitting. This is everything that needs to take place before the next appointment. Like, I was the one who ended up doing all of that. And then after that fitting, where she pulls me in a room and asks me to pay, she sends me a DocuSign. And I'm like, no. You think you're going to send me some sort of legal document? You're going to get me to, like, sign something? You should have given me a contract from the jump. That's your bad that you didn't. That's on you, okay? I'm not doing that now. So I literally responded, and I was like, I'm not going to move forward with that. Trying to play me. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I wouldn't move forward with that either. I'm not signing a document after the fact so you can receive all of your money. No, that's not how that works. You sign a contract up front stating that for your work, completed work, I will pay you this much money. It's that simple.
Okay, wedding dress from hell, the good part edition. Okay, this is a case of wine, ignore it. I just want to say that I do have an incredible and amazing wedding dress. And I reached out. I was in San Francisco for one day with my mom, and it was the only day that I was going to be in San Francisco or be with my mom until my wedding. It was like the one day that we had together. So I was like, this is my only opportunity to go wedding dress shopping with my mom before my wedding. So I reached out to this like little local business in San Francisco in the marina, and I told them a bit of my backstory. I said, listen, I'm out all of this money on this custom dress that doesn't fit me, and I am like freaking out because my wedding is soon, and like I really want to wear something beautiful. They had no appointments available for the one day that I had with my mom, and so I was like, if there's any way you can squeeze me in, I will be quick. I only need 30 minutes. They respond and they say, we are not open, but we will open for you.
That is so sweet. And that is the way to run a business, because I'm sorry, I don't know how big she is. I never even looked. Yeah, this girl with 21.1 thousand followers I don't blame them, because that's good PR on their point, because she's obviously making a video about this, and that shows how, like, that shows anybody there, if there is anybody that's like looking for a wedding dress and they live there and they're like, well, I might as well go here, they're obviously going to go above and beyond for my wedding too.
They literally opened for me. It like makes me want to cry. They were so nice. And I sent her my inspo photos, and we chatted, and she had like a rack of dresses waiting for me. And my mom actually pulled the dress that I ended up getting, and it's so beautiful. And my wedding is in 2.5 weeks, and I can't wait to show everybody the dress after that. And it was just like the best experience ever. So I'll put the name. If you're looking for an incredible bridal.
If you can't read it, it's Unveiled Bridal in San Francisco, and huge shout out to them. Hopefully, like, that's such great PR for them. I hope they're doing great, and honestly, good for them. Like, I'm glad that they're getting this positive PR.
Spot to go in San Francisco. I went to Unveiled Bridal in the marina, and the owner helped me, and it's like owned by these two sisters, and they are just like magical, sweet women, and they've helped me every step of the way. They helped me get an alterations person even here in New York. They helped me set that up. They've been checking in on the progress. They've just been so kind. They really take a lot of pride in their business, and I am like thrilled. I'm like thrilled that I had the opportunity to like support them and work with them, and thank God, I love my dress. Okay, what?
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy for her that she was able to find something that she was looking for. I know it wasn't the custom route she was originally going for, but I'm so happy that she was able to get it done. Unveiled Bridal did an amazing job. I'm so happy for that. I honestly can't wait to see it. I'm gonna follow her. I cannot wait to see her unveil her wedding date, her wedding dress, how beautiful it'll be. I'm excited. Let's look at the comments on this video, and then we're gonna go to the apology of Undone by Kate's video and see what she has to say about it. I looked at Undone by Kate's most recent video. As a bride who went custom, I was shocked it's still so bad. It looks like she may have had experience as a seamstress, but not as a dress designer. Understanding how to design a gown to fit it to an individual woman is so different from taking something in or adding straps. It seems like she bit off way more than she can chew. I hope this will prompt her to get some proper training and supervision before doing this to other brides. Yes, truly. Okay, let's look at the next video.
Hi.
Okay, so this is on Undone by Kate on her official page. I wonder how many. Yeah, they have 14.7 thousand followers on TikTok. And so this is their video on everything that happened, which we just watched and witnessed.
My name is Kate, and I'm the founder and designer of Undone by Kate. You've probably seen a video circulating online about an unfinished wedding dress that was created here in my studio, and I'm here to provide some additional context and clarity on the situation. First and foremost, I think it's extremely important to understand that this bride has been issued a refund. On July 14th, I reached out to her directly.
Hello, Undone by Kate. We received your refund request for blank to the Visa card ending in blank. Once your request has processed, your customer can expect to see the refund amount on their statement within the next 7 business days.
And offered her a full refund. I sent her this.
Hi, we recently came across your videos and wanted to reach out directly. We're truly sorry to hear that this was your experience and that this is how you feel about your time with us. While we respect your right to share your perspective, it was incredibly difficult to hear our integrity questioned. As a small business, every gown we create represents months of work from a dedicated team of people who genuinely care about our brides and the work they do. Their livelihoods depend on the reputation we've spent years building, so seeing our business discussed publicly in this way has been deeply upsetting for everyone involved. While we may remember certain aspects of the experience differently, we never want you to feel unheard. With that in mind, we've gone ahead and proceeded a full refund, which you should receive within the next 7 to 10 business days. Your completed gown looks beautiful, and we truly wish you had the opportunity to see it in its finished state. We sincerely wish nothing but happiness in your marriage of your lives. Only ask that you keep in mind that very real impact that public statements can have on a small business and the people whose careers and families depend on it. That's fine and all. I do appreciate this. I do not like that last paragraph because she never directly stated who you were, and she kept that very private. And to me, I think she had every right to do this because she showed the receipts of the progression of the dress, and it's not like she was just stating that it was bad. She was also showing that it was bad.
And she graciously
Hi Kate, I really appreciate you taking the time to make this right. I was so excited to work with you and your team, and it's disappointing that it didn't pan out. Thank you for processing the refund. Wishing your team the best. Amazing. That's nice. I think that's nice.
accepted and said thank you for the resolution. At that point, I thought this would be handled and human to human, the record would be set straight. But unfortunately, that's not what happened online. And any comment proving that she was refunded was quickly deleted, further fueling the fire of this narrative that's currently online. It's also very important to note what goes into the custom dressmaking process. When we start, we have a consultation, and I learn everything about the things you like and the things you didn't like dress shopping. I will never copy an exact dress, but I will take everything that you told me and put it into a sketch for you. Then we go through the sketches together and we talk about iterations, things you don't like about the sketch and things you maybe do. We ultimately decided on this sketch, which is the blueprint and what we referenced to get to the final gown. And this is the final gown that was created.
Yeah, that does look like the sketch. That kind of looks like the last photo that Alexander showed, but that doesn't look like some of the photos that it took to get to that point. Like, not even close.
Created. Your first step is usually a prototype fitting, and the prototype fitting is a draft of your dress made to feel the silhouette on your body. And we make adjustments, we can change things in that fitting, and we have an open conversation about what you're liking and not liking. When you get into your first fitting in your fabric, by all means, your dress is nowhere near complete. It's very different than when you go dress shopping at a typical bridal shop.
Like, I get it's nowhere near where it's going to be, and I, wouldn't expect it to be, but I would also expect it to be a better version than the prototype dress.
And you try on your gown for the first time complete and you make alterations. We're actually molding a dress onto your body, and things can change. Measurements can change, design aspects can change, and that's what's so great about the custom process is that we're here to adapt, trial and error, and move through it together. Sometimes no two dresses are created the same, and it's not as black and white. Sometimes you can have 3-4 fittings in your final fabric, and sometimes you can have 2. I want it to be extremely clear that I would never let a bride walk out of my studio, let alone down the aisle, in the state of the photos that you saw that gown in. In this case, we had a final fitting on the books, and the final fitting is where you get to see your final dress come to life. Unfortunately, this bride rescheduled her final fitting less than 24 hours in advance, and despite multiple follow-up attempts, she ultimately let us know she was moving in a different direction. I have done everything I can to make it right. I have issued her a full refund, I have apologized, and I've absorbed all the costs, time, labor, and materials of that beautiful dress. I really wish that that full context could have been shared here before I had to make this video. But unfortunately, now I'm receiving death threats and negative reviews from...
Nobody should be sending out death threats or negative reviews if you've never gotten anything from Undone by Kate. Like, that's just unacceptable. Anytime I talk about somebody, I never expect the people who watch my videos to go and say something to that creator ultimately, or just having a discussion about things that are happening online and influencers and things like that, and just having a commentary discussion of what is happening in the world and making sure that we are talking about it. But I don't necessarily think that the people that are coming to watch my videos are also then going to go to these people and have something to say about it.
People who have never stepped foot in my studio. I'm so sorry that the process shook out the way it did for her, and I wish that we could have gotten to that final fitting. To wrap it up, I know that concerns were raised during this process, and I saw them too. We documented them and continue to work through them. But custom bridal is absolutely a journey, and I will continue to put as much love and care in every single dress that I continue to create here on. Thank you so much for listening.
I don't know how I feel about her apology. She was obviously reading from a script, which I don't blame her. I'm sure her lawyers approved the script before she did this. I'm glad she had the screenshot showing the receipts of her sending everything back and communicating with Alexander. But let's read some of the comments and see what people have to say about it, because her comments are still open on this video, which I was actually kind of shocked about. This first one, 1, you refunded after the video. 2, the dress does not, 1, you refunded after the video. 2, the dress was not what she asked for. 3, the dress was ugly. The dress also felt like, if I'm getting a custom dress, I want it to feel like it's not something I could buy off the rack. Your video is how I found out that you were the designer. She never named you. I totally agree with that because she never named who the designer was. She kept that to herself. People figured it out. It's not that hard. It's a small world. That's not her fault. I get what she meant by your energy. Yeah, her energy is a little off. I don't like it. A refund doesn't entitle you to her silence on her experience. I 100% agree with that statement. Just because you give a refund does not mean that she has to give a statement or take down her story because you gave her a refund. Now she can, which I don't know if she does because we still have one more video by her, but she still hasn't said that she received a refund in any of that, which she doesn't have to. But up to the point where she didn't receive a refund is where like she left off. So you sent a refund after she posted about you and the video started going viral, pretty much. Refunding her money just makes it right and not a fraud. She is still entitled to share her experience with you and what happened. Yeah, a lot of people, I don't think, really care that you refunded her. I mean, they care because you needed to, but they don't because you waited to do it until she posted all these videos. Because she never would have done that. I don't think you would have ever actually refunded her. So I watched her video. It was 4 different dresses, each fitting. Like, can you imagine the stress she went through as a bride to be, whew, for real? I mean, she had photos. We all saw how it got worse and worse and worse. Odd timing that you sent the refund the day she posted the video. Yep. Okay, so let's go watch her final video and then let's watch Rebecca's video. It's the comment we saw, which I'll put right here, where it said, oh, this happened to me too, and somebody wanted a story time, so we're gonna do that.
Hi, Kate. You have me blocked, but I have seen the video. It's been sent.
The fact that they blocked her is crazy. Like, crazy that they blocked her, but also want her to make a statement.
To me, I did not realize you were receiving death threats. That's ridiculous. You guys, it's a dress. It's not that big of a deal, and it's my dress. I'm the only one who's, like, allowed to be mad about it. And
I totally agree with her about that. Like, it is her dress. She's allowed to be upset. Like, we as the internet are allowed to be upset for her. That's the extent. Like, I am upset for her, but whatever she's feeling about it is, like, all that needs to be felt.
like, that's way too intense and, like, way too far and ridiculous. That said, no need to lie. Let's look up some receipts. Okay, you posted this in a comment saying that it was understood that I would be getting a full refund after I told you that I wanted to end our partnership. Interesting, because here's what you said to me over email. That said, because this is a fully custom garment that has been designed, developed, sourced, fitted, and produced specifically for you, we are not able to offer a refund or cancel the remaining balance. Payments made toward custom work are non-refundable, and the final installment remains due according to the payment schedule established at the start of the project. Because this is a fully custom garment, blah, 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 blah. We are not able to offer a refund or cancel remaining balance. Payments made toward your work are non-refundable, and the final installment remains due. It was never understood that you would be refunding me, as it clearly stated in that email, which you sent me that twice. There was very clear that you would not be refunding me. Also, you said that I canceled my last fitting. That's not true. I never made my last fitting because I was unhappy and uncomfortable, and I didn't want to go back because I was really trying to have my wedding dress experience be positive. Which she's allowed to do. Like, I had a very positive wedding dress experience. My mom was there, my grandmother was there, my best friend was there. We had a great time, and yeah, I almost face planted on a dress. The step stool was like this wide that I had to step on. I stepped on the dress on in, and it just slid. It was fun. So glad I had that experience. Not the dress I ended up buying, but that was a dress that happened to me in. Lastly, you said that I've been deleting comments that are saying that you gave me a refund. That's not true. That's childish. I would never do that. The only comments that I've deleted are comments that haven't mentioned your brand name, which I have. Honestly, good on her for deleting comments not mentioning the brand name, because she was never mentioning the brand name until now. I have not mentioned, and I will not mention. I did not out you. I did not. You outed you. Out you, and I will not out you. That was a choice that you made. I don't know how the internet works, honestly. It's crazy. The last thing that I'm going to say is that they did come to me as a recommendation. So some people do have positive experiences there. That was just not my experience. Had they been kind to me, had they been understanding, had they been interested in making it work, we would not be having this conversation. But that was not the case, and that was not my experience. Other people clearly do have good experiences, just not me. I'm not sure why I was not a priority, but I wasn't. And that's all. Again, I'm the only person who needs to be mad about this. I really appreciate everyone like supporting me and telling me that I'm not crazy, because I did kind of feel like I was insane, so I do appreciate that. But there's no reason for her to be getting death threats. That's like truly way too fucking far. So yeah, I'm over it. And like I said, I wish your team the best. I've said that multiple times and I meant it. I wish your team the best. I hope you flourish. I hope everything's good. I rebuke the negative energy, and I really do wish you the best. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, she stated her experience. She has never named you specifically. You named you, people named you in the comments, but she was trying to delete them. But I'm sorry, when you get to a certain point and you have so many comments, it's really hard to delete them, because I've seen it throughout. But I don't understand why they would say that. But also then block her. Like, that's so crazy to me. Okay, let's read some of these comments. Yeah, Kate should have said, after seeing Alex's video and how unhappy she was with the services we tried to provide, I've decided to give her a full refund. There's no reason to lie at this point. You have all the receipts. Stay positive, Queen, because it's killing her. You're gonna have the best wedding. Yeah, like, she needed to only make that one simple statement. She could have just been like, I didn't realize how bad of a situation this was. I was not fully a part of this process for her. This was, done by whoever. Like, obviously, who she doesn't have to name. She can just be like, they're being dealt with to make sure that this doesn't happen to another client. And we're issuing a full refund now that I understand the full brevity of this situation. Brevity? Did I use that word right? Oh, I already said it. Okay, so now we've gone through all of Alexander's video. We watched Kate's video. Now, in the process of doing this, was not expecting. I thought this would be like the end. We were gonna have, I was just gonna do my thing and then be done. Nope, we've got one more video left. We're gonna watch Rebecca's video where someone said, please make a story time. I literally cannot believe people pay thousands for those Shein ass looking dresses. I'm actually interested in what she has to say, because obviously this is the first time I've ever heard of Undone by Kate, and I'm excited to see what she also has to say, to see, how similar the process was for each of them. So we're gonna watch this and see what happens next.
But I'm on vacation, and I thought I'd give just like a brief overview of kind of the situation and everything that I went through about a year and a half ago. And if anyone wants any more details, I am more than happy to make a longer video when I get back home. In, I think, January, or right before, of 2025, I was getting married in May 2025. So like 5-6 months before my wedding, I decided that I wanted a second look for the reception. And I started looking around, and one of the places that I went to was Berta, because I had the more fitted looks, the more glitzy and brand new looks. I think I was just going for the reception. I tried on a dress that I absolutely fell in love with, and I'll post a picture somewhere. But that dress was more expensive than my first dress. So essentially it was just out of the budget, and I figured I could go and make a custom dress that looked very similar. And I had a friend who worked with Undone by Kate, who you don't know this is about at this point. I had a friend who worked with Undone by Kate. I really liked her look, so I decided to reach out to her and also do a consultation. That consultation was $125, I think, at the time.
Yeah, paying for a consultation, that's normal. I mean, you're taking somebody's time out of their day, like that they could be, pitching and selling to other people. So consultations, they usually cost money. That's a normal situation.
And I understood it. Like, I needed to pay for an appointment at places like Vital Reflection in the city just to go and try on dresses. So that didn't surprise me or anything, but I think what really did it for me was that during consultation, she really seemed to understand my vision. I showed her 2 different dresses that I was really interested in and that were really like my inspo picks. I don't think that they were necessarily very similar. It was similar silhouette, but I think what I was going for was something that looked sheer, and that had a really, really delicate lace as like an underlayer, and then a more like...
Yeah, I see what she's trying to go for. She wants the high neck, tight fitting, but sheer lace all the way down for the reception. I love it. I think it's chic.
Applique topper that would cover just like on the breasts and like, yeah, on the bottom and things like that. So it was just like so fully covered. I explained that to her during consultation. She seemed really on board and really like totally understood my vision. She sent back sketches and I gave her my deposit right away. Unlike the other bride, I did have to sign a contract. It became very clear to me early on that after, you know, my first fitting with just like kind of like that like template that was just like the underlayer, I guess, or like the jumping off point, that we like were not on the same page. And I felt like with every single appointment.
Yeah, that doesn't really give off the same vibe as her like inspo pics.
We just kept getting further and further away from my vision and further away from my inspo. After a certain point, I had really started to panic. I think maybe less than 2 months after my wedding, and I realized the dress was going in a completely different direction, and I sent her an email asking her to completely pause on alterations for my dress, and I wanted to just like regroup and have another Zoom call and see if we could finally like get to where I wanted to be and if she was really going to understand my vision or not. We had a Zoom call. She said she completely understood, but what I wanted was completely different from what I had originally said, and therefore we need to sign a new contract, and there would be an additional like $1,800 fee for, you know, starting over or creating a brand new dress. Being desperate again.
What? At that point, she might as well just bought the original dress that she liked. An additional $1,800. But I'd been like, no, I showed you the pictures that I wanted, and this doesn't look anything like it. I'm not paying that.
I went up for my wedding. I didn't think that I would get anything else at this point. I signed that contract and I agreed, thinking that we were again on the same page. Meanwhile, the inspo dresses that I was sending her were still my 2 original inspo dresses. I went through the fabric selection process one time over again. I selected a new fabric. I even went as far as to go fabric shopping on my own in the fabric district in New York. I went fabric.
Yeah, so she was doing more research, more homework, basically all the things that Undone by Kate should be doing, since she paid her an extra $1,800.
Shopping in Jersey. I was really looking high and low for a new fabric. I ultimately selected something, went to my appointments.
This was a couple weeks out from my wedding, by the way. Oh my gosh.
Without knowing that my fabric was coming from Italy and was stuck in customs. That was not told to me until I eventually got to my appointment, where the fabric should have been on the silhouette or the mannequin, I guess, of the dress, and we were kind of just like getting it more fitted, and that just wasn't the case. I got to that appointment and they really started to try to push me towards another fabric, and I was just really hesitant, and it just wasn't what I wanted, and I didn't want to end up in the same position that I was the last time. I felt really pushed the last time into a fabric that I didn't want, and I felt like that was happening again. So my plan was just to get out of there as quickly as possible and wait until they confirmed that my fabric was there before I went in for another appointment. Long story short, my fabric never got there. They tried to make my dress in a completely different fabric and offer it up to me as something that I had also wanted. It was like,
I mean, it's pretty, but it's not quite what she was, like, her inspo pics are.
I was a fan of this other fabric, but I definitely wasn't. And they tried to sell that to me. I scrambled to find a second dress within 3 weeks of my wedding, which thankfully I did. But because I signed a contract, I knew that I was getting my money back. And transparently, I never asked for it. I just went straight to my credit card company, and it's been over a year, and I have still been fighting that. She's been disputing the chargeback. I got did it with my credit card, and I'm just working to get back the several $1,000s that I poured into the dress that I never received. So it was probably wrong for not confronting her and asking for the money back, but it was a couple months out from my wedding, and it just wasn't something that I wanted to add to my plate. And it was already just like such a traumatic process. It was like the worst part of wedding planning was unfortunately working with her. But yeah, so if I could save a bride from this process, I would love to do that. And if I've learned anything, it's that if someone is creating for influencers and celebrities, they don't care about the average bride. So do it.
Yeah, that's diabolical. Let's look at some of hers. The beating of the crotch area is diabolical. Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of crazy. Like, why? I don't know. I should have that. You're better than me. I would have cussed her off. Wow. Okay. Well, that was probably the like craziest rabbit hole I've gone down so far. That was super interesting. I didn't expect to find this like secondary video, so it's not just happened to Alexandra, it also happened to this woman Rebecca. And I feel like the issue with the company is the fact that the fact that their communication styles are different, because it seems like they're talking to these women, but they're not listening to them. They're not taking the direction that they're trying to go in, and they're just assuming a lot, or just assuming that even though they picked something and it's not there, they'll just agree with the next thing versus doing what they originally agreed to. I don't know. I do feel like her apology overall just wasn't that genuine. It was only came out after the fact, and it just doesn't seem like something that somebody else would do. I don't know. I am on both Rebecca and Alexandra's side. I'm not on Kate's side. Now, like Rebecca said, there are people who have had great experiences with her, and I'm not taking that away. And I do think that she should just look at her like company as a whole and be like, you know, who helped these people? Or are the same people that are having issues? Is it the same people working on it? I would definitely look at the employees and things like that and figure out what I can do to fix. But instead of just saying that Alexandra was out to get her, she could have just apologized and be like, I saw the videos, I didn't realize it was this big of a deal, or this was like all the things that was actually happening. And it's just, I don't know, there was just a lot happening there, and I am glad that both Rebecca and Alexandra found something that they were looking for. I cannot wait to see Alexandra's official wedding dress, because her wedding should be coming up here in a couple of weeks, which is so exciting for her. I hope it's a wonderful day, and honestly, I hope Kate can get it figured out and nobody else goes through this process, because if you're looking for something completely custom, I do hope that she can figure out why there's these few one-offs that are just not having as good of a time with her company as everybody else just looking into it. I mean, that's just what I would do. I hope nothing but the best for her. I hope everything goes well, and I hope she can figure it out and grow from this truly. It's just, I hate that this happened to these women, and I hope that this doesn't happen to anybody else that goes to undone by Kate. All right, well, that is today's internet debrief. Now I want to hear what you think, so let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. If you enjoyed hanging out with me today, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I'll see you next time with another drink, another internet rabbit hole, because somebody has to. And I guess it's going to be me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.